Previously on Eden Zero, we saw Justice as well as Homura do battle against God Agnoella, the mother of dragons, who had an obsession with creation, and had previously on Lendard been a researcher who had developed a machine that could build robotic soldiers ad infinitum. It was through his discussion with God Agnoella, Justice realized that she was the former queen of Lendar, Elsie Crimson's own mother. And just as Justice had realized this, in come Elsie Crimson herself, ending the life of her own mother there and then, knowing full well who she was. For some reason looking to take the device that God Agnoella had used to create the dragon for herself. Something is odd with Elsie Crimson, who comes fresh off of seeing several people she cared about die tragically. And this might not be a simple face turn or heel turn. I forget the terminology. As Hermit has alluded that there's something deep going on with Elsie. Something Hermit traced back to when they had first picked up Elsie with Ziggy long ago. What's going on with Elsie? Is God Agnoella really gone? And what potential new evil is about to be unleashed on the galaxy? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright. Aw, nice little image of Pino at the aquarium. That's cute. So adorable. One of the most adorable designs Mashima's ever come up with. Chapter 213, If We Don't Have to Fight, ... Interesting. If we don't have to fight. Alright, Elsie Crimson does a full-on superhero landing. And Justice, he's taken off guard. He thinks to himself, that's not the Elsie I know. She's radiating an ether that's filled with hatred. Which is kind of questionable because it's just like, dude, you've been chasing her down this entire time, fueled by your own hatred, and you could tell that this is her being off? I don't know how to feel about all that. But Elsie, still kneeling down, pumps her ether into the ground, and she says something like an enchantment. O great land of Lendard, my name is Elsie Lee Lendard. I am the rightful heir to the throne of this planet. Remove all current command rights of Mobius from Shaya, her mother, and transfer them to me. Justice goes racing towards her, questioning, you want control of the dragons? For what? I won't let you do it. But before Justice can get close enough, Elsie says, Elsie Lee Lendard commands you. Deactivate all dragons. Okay. Maybe this isn't what you thought it was? Okay, has Mashima thrown me for a loop again? Because Justice has grabbed Elsie, but he's shocked all at the same time. And we see the Mobius system just seemingly deactivating. Just opening up, steam coming out of it, and all the dragons just power down right then and there. They start raining down from the sky, crushing everything. Jeez. Whoa. Okay, then. Yeah, didn't actually consider it. Just like, oh, right. They were mid-air, and they're all just crashing down into Lendard. Just exploding. I hope you brought your umbrella. It's raining dragons. Ooh, man, and you get this massive shot of it just raining the robotic dragons all over the planet. Man, if Lendard wasn't destroyed before, it is now. Eraser sees this and is shocked, asking, what happened? Feather tells him, the dragons have ceased functioning. Have they stopped in space? Aboard the Midnight, Ibuki calls out to the rest of the Interstellar Union Army fleet, saying, this is Midnight. All the dragons surrounding Lendard have been deactivated. Shiro joyfully states, we did it. And we just see the dragons out in space just free-floating. Victory says, so they took out Agnoella, eh? Justice, who tackled Elsie and is on top of her now, Kinky, says, Elsie, you. And Elsie says, James, I don't want to fight anyone anymore. Tears streaming down her eyes. Justice is just completely taken aback as Elsie just weeps. So she just, damn. I guess I'm really taken aback because it just means she just killed her mother. Just didn't want to hear any explanations. Just like, no, she's crazy. She needs to go down. I'm ending this right here and now. Like shit. Damn, Elsie. Justice is speechless at first, but then he speaks to the inconsolable Elsie, saying, I feel like I'm seeing the real you for the first time. No. Maybe you were there all along, but I refuse to see it. Huh. I mean, there was always that question of what it would take for Justice to finally get off of Elsie's case. This might just be it. I don't know. I'm stuck in the midpoint of feeling that the whole events of the fight with God Agnoella was rushed, and feeling like this is a fascinating conclusion. But it really feels like we are wrapping some important stuff up really fast now. And the whole situation with Dead End Crow was done not too long ago, and finding out it was Cure. The situation with God Agnoella has been wrapped up, and finding it was Sayla, Elsie's mother. I don't know. It feels like some of these moments are really getting room to breathe. It's like I don't hate the direction, I just am kind of thrown by how quickly some of this stuff is getting wrapped up. But I'm at a loss for what more you could really add to these situations. Alright, we cut back over to the Eden Zero, where Hermit is clacking at the keyboard, which, shoot, all that stuff I said about Elsie before is just really in question. Oh, why did she want to look into Elsie's medical records then? I'm even more perplexed. Alright. Hermit pulls up the footage of when they first got Elsie on board, and Elsie was talking with Ziggy. Hermit says, there it is, here it is. This is the conversation. I overlooked it at the time, and the young Elsie is shocked as Ziggy nods and says, then one day you'll give the ship to Shiki. Wait, so this is before they even got Shiki, right? Or was it after the fact? Hermit says none of us realized it back then. Not Ziggy, not Elsie, not me. But looking back now, none of it makes sense. You're telling me. In the footage, the young Elsie says, I can do that for you. But if the ship is so important, shouldn't you keep it at Grand Bell? Ziggy says, Grand Bell is a theme park. We get way too many visitors. A small craft would be one thing, but I can't keep a big ship there. Hermit thinks to herself, the real enemy. If my guess is right, then that is not good news. God, every time it feels like maybe we're starting to get an answer, you freaking throw a curveball. Where are you going with this, Bashima? Alright, and now we pick up with Ziggy and Shiki and Pino. Ziggy is crying, saying, put me out of my misery, Shiki. And Shiki is he's breaking out into a cold sweat. Pino looks towards Shiki, calling to him, and it seems like Shiki just is trying to steel himself to do what needs to be done, but it's obvious he can't do it. Ziggy calls out to him, if you don't destroy me now, will possess me again. I'll hurt even more people. Shiki questions, why not put you back to normal? We can fix you. Ziggy tells him it's not possible. And I are too deeply connected. Shiki says, but, Ziggy starts to transform, screaming out. Shiki calls to Ziggy, and Ziggy says there's no time. Pino's at a loss as well. As Ziggy says, Shiki, you swore you would beat me, didn't you? So that you'd never lose anyone again. That's what it is. And then Ziggy's transformed back, and he says, time's up. Oh no. Pino and Shiki look on in horror. Ah, shit. Ziggy engulfs Pino in an energy bubble. Pino calls out, what is this? Shiki cries out for Pino. Ziggy says, you made this happen through your weakness. Oh no. As Shiki tells Ziggy to stop it, Pino says, detecting enigmatic gravitational field. I can't get out. Shiki cries out to Pino. Oh no. Ziggy says, you dared to defy me, little girl? As Pino calls out to Shiki, who is struggling to get Pino out of the bubble. Oh no. Oh no. Pino says, it appears that my role has ended, with tears streaming out of her eyes. Shiki says, how can you say that, Pino? As Ziggy says, be gone. Pino says, if I'm born again someday, I hope to be. But Shiki's not listening, saying, Pino, I'm gonna get you out of there. Don't give up. And as Pino says her last word, human. She hoped to be born again as human someday. She disappeared. She crushed? Teleported? Shiki looks at where Pino once was, stunned. He calls out to Pino. Of course. And he just activates his ether gear, goes right into overdrive, screaming out in rage, power emanating from him. Ziggy simply says, now there's no one to stop us. I'm ready, Shiki. Ziggy, come at me. And the enraged Shiki looks over to Ziggy and in an instant, in a new form, punches a hole straight through Ziggy. I don't believe it. I don't believe Pino is dead. Yeah, something about that doesn't seem right. It almost feels like maybe Ziggy was trying to get Shiki to do the deed. I don't know, something about that don't feel right. It just feels as though Ziggy was trying to coax Shiki. But I'm still questioning. With Elsie and Justice, I wonder, is that really the end of their whole rivalry and feud? Because ultimately Justice has officially kind of found proof that, no, the Royals of Lendard were up to no good and they would have just waged global universal warfare upon the galaxy, considering what God Agnoella had in the world. Elsie just... with everything that's happened to Elsie, I don't know, man, that's rough. That's rough. Does this mean she killed her mother knowing full well that that was my mother, but what clued her in that it was her mother, though? How did she come to realize it? I have questions about that. But there's also what Hermit has discovered. What is it about that conversation between the young Elsie and Ziggy back in the day that has clued Hermit into what the true evil is? I don't get it. Or has this all just been a way? Has this all been a manipulation, I'm starting to wonder? To get maybe Shiki to make the choices that need to be made so that he could stop the true evil? Is it possible that maybe Ziggy took the role of a villain, took out any obstacle that might have come Shiki's way, and paved the way for Shiki to grow strong enough to potentially end this greater threat on the horizon that would lead to the wiping out of all humanity? Because that's what it's starting to feel like. The contradiction, everything. I'm starting to think that maybe there's these doomed time loops. There's always a Ziggy, there's always a Shiki. And Ziggy is always trying to push Shiki towards the right direction, but it's never the correct one. And humanity is always lost. Maybe this is a Ziggy who took things to the extreme to get the most extreme response out of Shiki. I don't know. Because Hermit keeps saying things don't add up. So there has to be a lie here that we're just not privy to. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think is going on here? Were you surprised that Elsie wasn't ultimately the villain? To just find out she did what she needed to do? Damned her own personal feelings about it. What is it that Hermit discovered? Is Pino really gone? Is Ziggy really struck down right now? This series keeps proving that nothing is as it seems, never at first glance. I'm curious to know what happens next. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for the next video. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you somewhere out in space for the next video. Till then, bye-bye.